How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs. Today I need to attach this outdoor AC unit to a concrete pad. Now when it comes to concrete anchors, there's tons of different options out there, but in a recent poll from my community, almost 6,000 of you voted and 71% prefer Tapcon anchors. So that is exactly what I'm going to use today. This is a 3/8 of an inch diameter by 3 inches in length. That's going to work perfectly for the 4 flanges I need to secure to this concrete pad. I'll run you through a few tips and tricks along the way, and also what do you do if you run into some issues and kind of getting into one of those scenarios where your project starts to spiral out of control. So let's jump into it. When it comes to concrete anchors, especially when you have 4 to line up like this, you want to measure twice and make sure you're exactly right on your hole placement. So you make sure here I'm just checking my spacing, that I have the correct clearances for this unit, and then marking the holes. Even marking the holes, you want to take your time with that Sharpie and make sure the hole is exactly in the middle of the bracket hole, again, so you do not have misalignment once you go to start to drill the holes. Now be careful, if you've used smaller Tapcon screw anchors and you've used something like a 3/16, if you look on the back for the reference drill bit size, in this case it'd be a 5/32. So you're actually doing a drill bit that is different than the size that you see on the packaging for the smaller screw anchors. That is not the case once you step up to the larger concrete anchor. So here we're using 3/8. If you follow the same logic of those small screw anchors, you'd say, okay, we're probably using like a 5/16 or something. No, for this instance, when you look on the back, you will reference, it says 3/8. So it's a 1-to-1 match for the sizing you see on the front of the package for the actual drill bit that you need to use to make these holes. Now I'll run through 2 different methods here. This is just a normal cordless hammer drill. It's a Makita. It has the 3/8 by 4 inch drill bit, electrical tape on the bit, which is measuring out the depth 1/2 inch longer than the actual Tapcon length. I go in cycles not to continuously apply pressure because that can make too much heat and promote the breakdown of your bit, which can really even dull that bit within 1 drilled hole. And then a rotary hammer drill. Kind of a whole different class, and it's going to drill much faster and easier. It has a depth gauge that you can set on the side. That's that black rod. Again, set 1/2 inch further than the actual Tapcon. So I want to show you both those examples, knowing that it took about 50 seconds for the standard hammer drill to drill the same hole, again about 3.5 inches in depth. And then when we switched over and stepped up to the rotary hammer drill, about half that time. Now this is about best case scenario for the standard hammer drill because it had a charged 5 amp hour battery, and the rotary hammer drill actually had a half depleted 3 amp hour battery. So usually it'd even be more lopsided towards the rotary hammer drill. Just make sure whichever one you have, you get the correct bits. For the rotary hammer drill, often you're going to be using what's called SDS Plus. That is going to be what's going to fit into the chuck here, and it's not going to be your standard drill bit, which you would need for something like a cordless hammer drill. Now you can reference a link in the description. That goes over to my Amazon store. That's where I list all the tools that I use and I think are DIY friendly. You can look in the power tool section. You'll see both of these drills, and then also those masonry drill bits that I was using for this project. Now don't forget, it's important to clean out all the debris from those holes. So you can use a shop vac to suck it all up, and then possibly like I did, I had a portable cordless air compressor to blow out those holes, making sure we actually have that full depth that we drilled and don't have a bunch of broken up concrete in the bottom that would reduce that overall depth. All right, so I just need to make a small adjustment to the actual AC unit here and also take off this guard, and then we'll start to drive those Tapcons down into the concrete pad. So it's really as easy as that. You saw me put the 2 in on the front side. They went right in with my impact driver. And remember, you shouldn't actually have to apply that much torque. You really want to max out at 50 foot-pounds. You don't want to go above that, or you could strip out that hole. they should be going in with a simple impact driver without much issue. But what happens if they don't? The number one issue that I have had personally is when I drill out that hole, I'm not paying attention. I might drill it 3.5 inches and the bolt needs to go down or the anchor needs to go down 3 inches, but I didn't pay attention and that hole actually filled in, or I just didn't get the debris and concrete dust out of that hole. So when I try to sink the anchor, it's actually bottoming out. It's hitting all that material in the bottom of the hole and it cannot drive any further. So that is your most common failure point. So make sure you clean it out. If you don't have an air compressor, get that drill bit back out, go back down through it and try to pull that material out of the hole. So even though some of us might want to step up to a 1/2 inch impact wrench that can deliver a lot more torque, you just don't need it for Tapcons. And if you are going that route, you're more likely to start stripping out holes and having a bigger problem. Now, what happens if you do strip out a hole? So if you strip out a hole, my first option is I'd want to go one size higher. So I would try to fit a 1/2 inch Tapcon in that hole where I can drill a new hole and then fit that new bolt down in, hopefully this time doing it successfully without stripping it out. You could also possibly turn to wedge anchors or strike anchors. There's other type of anchors within concrete that you might be able to enlarge that hole, that damaged hole that you have, and then use one of the other anchor types to secure that in. But really, from ease of use, it's hard to beat Tapcons, and that's why 71% of the audience says that's my go-to concrete anchor. But let me know what you guys think. Do you have much luck with Tapcons? Do you have failure modes? And if you do, what are those failure modes? Put it down in the comments. I always like to hear from you guys, and it really helps out the other viewers as well. Now, if you need to make a small concrete pad like this, I made a landing pad for a set of stairs coming off my deck. Check out this video right here. I'll walk you through the complete process. And if you want to see this Mr. Cool duct system install, pretty great little system, check out this video right here. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on one of those next videos. Take care.